we are getting so close to the yearly close, and this monthly close gives you a lot. It's a monthly close, it's a quarterly close, it's a yearly close. You get a lot of things happening here. So while you look back, the question of who gave you the right thought process when the price was here is important. Who reiterated those facts at this point to give you the confidence that the market is about to run up is important, because these shows you what comes next is going to be guided in the same manner. When you look through what we are looking at in the macro, this is important to understand what you may see in Jan and Feb. I would argue this is one of the most important stuff if you are in the crypto market right now and you're looking towards 2024. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Right now, if you look at this asset, we reiterated the fact yesterday. This is forming a bullish breakout. It's a bull flag breaking to the upside. Keep the targets in mind. Now, 900 plus members are taking benefit of that. That's a different story. But here, you need to keep this in your mind. We've been following this asset from a long time. If you look at this asset, where was its bottom? Close like 2.5, 2.7, right? So you go back in time to see when was that? September, October, right? You go back and look at the ICP post for the SI family in October, and you see this clearly. That's a Wyckoff breakout. I was arguing this. Look at the strength. The strength was much higher and the price was not, which showed you bulls were about to push the price up. Now, as we broke higher, we gave you further targets. And as we were going through those targets, target 1, target 2, and people started thinking like, okay, are we going to go back down? I was like, no, let's actually look at what's happening for what it is. And the market showed you, no, RSI, the MACD, the price action, when you compile all of them, it was like, I'm about to move higher. That's one of the reasons why you guys got this 12 hours ago. And right now, you look at the price, it's up 30% for the day. So this is already up 164% for the month. That's what the SI family is on. So if you want to get those, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below in YouTube or in the bio if it's in Twitter. Now, let's jump into something interesting. See, when I'm looking at these, I would like to actually give you guys the idea that a lot of assets are showing you different things, right? Some of them are showing you massive opportunities to the upside. So I'm going through the digest. I'm trying to make the digest for this month. I'm not yet finished there for sure, but I'm trying to go through all of that. Especially when you look at something like this. Hey, this is Bitcoin. Last month's digest, we talked about this. When the price was at 40,000, I was like, look, it really seems like we're doing this and we would actually go do this scenario. We may actually pull up and then consolidate. So we saw the price running up from there, another $5,000 and then slowed down. So this month we are looking for something like this. In a similar manner, when you're looking at XRP, this is what it is. It is what it is, right? But if you look at a lot of other assets, they're showing you a much different pattern. Now, the SI family gets the digest every month. They are updated. They know what's happening and they are going to ride this wave. Now, if you jump on the market, I would argue this is one of the most important things. Look at what it is, right? You go back and you see like, okay, every year you have something. The 2014, the 2015, the 2016 is not highlighted. 2016 can be in. But I was actually looking at where we are right now mostly. But if you look through the scenario of where we are when the yearly close came in, the next monthly movement was like what? Right? Here was like 100% move. Here was like a 60% move. So you're looking through all of this and you're like, okay, when you're in a bullish trend and you're moving higher on a monthly with momentum, you continue that. You're not slowing down. You're not dumping back down. Obviously, when you're in a bear market, when you have done your three-wave structure, yeah, you see downside. Yeah, you see downside for sure. There is no difference. So right now, if you go look at the same asset on the same horizon, what do you think is happening here? Do you think we are in a bearish move, or do you think we are in a bullish scenario? I would actually argue that we are looking for something bullish, right? We are actually way above the moving average. The monthly shows you when the next candle opens, it is going to push you much, much, much closer to the overbought territory. What the hell does that mean? You go back in history, erase all this. It's so simple. I want you guys to understand this. When the monthly candle gets close to the overbought territory, what happens in the price action? What happens in the price action? This is something you should not miss, right? That's where your final move begins, a big pop. Right here, you move from like $11 all the way up to $250. That's a huge move. Next time, if you look at that, when the price actually entered the overbought territory, it started from like $600, $650, and it went up all the way to $18,000. That's a monumental rise, right? Close to 19, 20,000. That's a huge move from $600. Next time, if you look at that, the price was somewhat close to 11,500, 600. It went all the way up to like $65,000, $70,000. Now, the next monthly candle is most likely going to show you that we're entering that territory. Now we are at 40,000. What do you think is going to happen here? Say, if it can actually do that move from 12,000 to 65, even if you are slow, you may actually do a $90,000, $100,000 in Bitcoin. And it's not much from here. Yeah, agreed. It's like 100, 120, 130% move. But that's still a big move because you're looking at the bottom from $16,000. That's interesting. Because then you look at XRP, something which is still inside the pattern, which is still frustrating for the holders because other side of the market is moving. Or if you look at different asset like XPR or Proton, you see that. I mean, if it's me, I would look at this asset and say, like, okay, it's still trending lower. Like, yeah, the strength has been increasing for sure. It kind of shows you like the price can go up and retest this level. But for me to become bullish, I would say, okay, we need to break this level first, which is a key resistance, and then break this one because that's like, a macro level. You've been above that for a long time. You broke below. That's the capitulation. So you have a lot of overhead resistance. Whereas if you look at the same on XRP, on the same kind of macro chart, you would actually agree that things look a little bit different here, right? Here, this is your resistance. You're above the resistance. You managed to break that to the upside, retest and bounce. So if you are someone who look at the technical, the price action, the structure, then you will literally argue that, okay, we're still staying super bullish on this asset. We are still here. This is not a bad thing. You're doing something like this. You'll break higher. You'll reach 0.7 quickly, right? We're waiting for that kind of a move in the market. Yes, XRP kind of tend to do a lot of things nice in the market. So it's a little bit hard to understand. But when you're looking at XLM, it's like, I'm trying to break higher. It's showing you a lot of wicks to the upside for sure. It is trying to break higher. Now you erase all of this, you go into just pure price action, and if you want to reduce noise, you put it on a line chart. And on the line chart, you see this, right? This is still there where we discussed before. A breakout is what we want to see, right? Now you go on XRP and you put in a monthly. Remember, we discussed about this for a long time. Today, I actually saw someone asking the question of, can you follow this up in Twitter? I'm like, yeah, for sure. We did follow all these up, right? So we are going to do that. Now, what do you see here? We did get the double bottom on top of double bottom for sure. And then you broke higher, you retested, and you bounced off. Now we came back with a lot of volatility and you're slowly grinding back to the upside. Are you trending to the downside or are you looking to the upside on a monthly, on a macro chart? Look at what you are seeing here. right? So you go back. You go back on the history. You want to see what is really happening. You have the double bottom, you break higher. So this is your double bottom, you break higher. You come back, you retest that range, you go up. So this is your double bottom, you break that, you retest, you end up. Now you come back down to retest that again and then bounce back up. So you come back down to retest that again and you bounce back up. And the price is not doing magical moves during this season, right? It's starting to bounce. The bigger move last time was like from 0.4 all the way up to $2, right? Without any of those exchanges, without the support of a lot of exchanges. That's what we actually did. This time around, you're doing almost something close. So we are like, okay, if we are about to do an X5, 10x move, you are literally about to watch the price going into the all-time highs, say $3.8, $4, then $5, $6. The price is about to move. And when it starts moving, it will move quickly. This is a monthly chart. Now, if you are a fan of this asset, you can literally go on like the macro chart where you get to see like the entire history of this asset. And then, obviously, you can actually remove any analysis and you can just be the pure quarterly chart where you're just looking at what's happening. I don't think this is bearish in any scenario. There will be a lot of different guys who will for sure give you that idea. But on a quarterly chart, this is what you're watching. MACD is crossing back to the upside. The volume is just starting to come to the upside. RSI is crossing the moving average to the upside. That does not happen every now and then. Believe me, when that happens, the price does magical things. Now, if you look at this, you can actually be concerned and ask the question like, okay, this is the 1, this is the 2. Are we going for a 3 on the macro? There is a possibility that it can be the case, right? That's a big question to ask for ourselves. And then we ask like, okay, what did we do last time here in the wave 1? Because if you follow the history of XRP, you understand one thing. Wave 3 is not bigger than wave 2, but it is obviously bigger than wave 1. That's what XRP has done historically when we follow it on a weekly chart. So you jump on to the weekly chart of XRP to understand what it was actually doing, right? And then you actually get to see the wave 1 in XRP was literally nothing. It was literally nothing. Then you had the wave 2, the correction, the wave 3. So if you measure the wave 1 here and compare it with the wave 2, there's a huge difference. Yeah, for sure, you're not actually looking at what happened in wave 2 to return in wave 3, but it still was a decent big move, right? So if on the macro, if the argument is that, okay, this is the wave 1, this is the wave 2, you're looking for wave 3, that still shows you somewhat like 60, 70x. Now, put it like this. The wave 2 here was monumental, 700x. So last time, if you look at the wave 2 to wave 3 was 80x and wave 3 was 30x, 35x. Let's actually be precise, be accurate, right? From that local bottom to the top was say 26x. That's not a bad move. Fine. This was like 80x. Let's make sure we are getting it correctly. Okay, 100x. Now, if we put the math here, 1 is 700x. That means you're still looking at a huge parabolic move of 100 to 250x. Now, we are here saying, okay, we are super conservative. Any move in price from the 0.6 range, 100x literally means you're at $60. Even if it is to $20 to $30 for wave 2, we are happy. We don't care, right? Because if you understand the price action very, very clearly, it shows you that the price does these things very often in this asset. The consolidation, the retracement has been completed. You came back down. You're just starting the new parabolic phase. You look at the trend and you put the argument. This is the base, right? If you look through the base here and the base there, and if you want to extend that all the way back down, it looks like you have a long way to the upside. It does seem so. So if you actually put in the argument like, okay, this is what you're going to look at, not the stop, that's just a parabolic phase, you missed stop, that's a standard deviation, whatever you want, and then measure what this asset can potentially do, That still shows you that 250x which we just talked about. That's a huge move. That's like XRP reaching $10 trillion. And I'm like, whoa, 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 that's a little bit too much, right? That's why I was saying, like, let's actually look at something a little bit more. Maybe this move is going to take you 10 years, 20 years. I don't know. Maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years. Who knows? But for this season, we are looking more at the next wave. Then the correction will show us where we are going for the wave 3. But for that micro move, the wave 2 here, which we're talking about, the wave 1, the wave 2, we don't know where it's going to go. That's a different story, but we're waiting on it, right? So if we manage to get not to the $80 trillion, but somewhat like, 3 trillion, it's going to be a monumental thing. Now, maybe it would be a little bit different. You actually go up like this and then come here. It would be the top. You may not actually go up here. So your wave 2 will not be that big, but still it gives you a decent ROI. So from the bottom, we are talking about like a 50x. That is not a small thing. If the price is going towards $12 to $15, it's still something to watch. So the price action is going to be really interesting for you, me, and anyone who is interested in this asset to see where big guys are stepping out. Because if you do see a divergence, then you should take profits no matter what others say about being a stable coin of $1,000, $10,000, $100,000. That's not what you're here for. That's just the hype. You're here to take the profits out when the time comes. So you need to understand how the market works, how the market dynamics works. And if you need help on that, SI family is there. You can join the 900 plus family using this link in the description. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.